All right, I want to welcome everybody back to the Choey and Jandler Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour, part 2 of our clip show. Hope everyone enjoyed part 1 of the clip show as much as I did. Not only was it funny listening to it, it was actually pretty awesome just creating it. So, had a lot more material, so I went back and checked all the other episodes a couple different times actually, to make sure I found what I consider some of the best stuff, and then ironed it out to put it into a way that you guys would enjoy. So sit back, listen again to our second round, our second part of our clip show of some of our funny moments. Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 7 of the Choey and Jandler's Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Jandler.
Welcome, Choey. Feel better? Get that out of your system. What's our tagline that you came up with?
Whoa.
Do you remember what it was? We're the what?
We're the Seinfeld of podcasts.
And why are we the Seinfeld of podcast?
Because in like true us fashion, like our conversations really don't ever get anywhere. Like, I mean, they get some places, but there's not really...
We're the podcast show about nothing. It's almost impossible to have a joke that's not offensive to somebody.
Oh, yeah, there's no...
Yeah, I mean, like, even if it's a corny joke, you're still making fun of something, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so now it's a little new thing I like to call teachable moments.
By Jandler Bong.
I thought you Jandler Bing.
Bing.
Bong. No, what is it?
Isn't it Mrs. Chandler Bong?
That's
Was
Mrs. Yeah.
I thought it was...
But it's Jandler Bing.
How am I supposed to know your whole, like it's a made-up... You have a made-up moniker. You have like a...
It was Joey Tribbiani on the show and Chandler Bing on the show.
Oh, yeah.
All I did was change our first.
Sorry, that's my bad.
Anyway.
Edit line.
Teachable moments by Jandler Bing and Choey Tribbiani. All right. By the way, we're doing it in our Jack Handy SNL style.
Yeah, so anybody that doesn't know that stuff. Stuart Smalley, Jack Handy.
So here's my teachable moment, and this is more for students, right? But maybe teachers want to teach these kids this stuff. It's really important to pay attention in math, especially when we talk about money. And here's why. Not knowing the difference between a $1 bill and a $100 bill is kind of important. Would you agree?
Problematic.
Yeah. So we had a kid, I think it was last week, was passing out $100 bills.
Oh, God.
Thought he was giving a kid a $1 bill, right? He did it like 2 times. Turns out the money was fake, right?
I was to say,
but
mommy and daddy do a couple of things wrong.
But when you talk to the kid, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, what? All I'm doing is giving my friend a $1 bill. No, you're not. You're giving him $100. It was just like, if that had been real money, he thought he gave out $2 and he gave out $200 if it had been real. He got lucky it was fake or play money or whatever. And also lucky that us teachers saw it. But I mean, just not knowing. What do we always say? Knowing is...
Knowing's half the battle.
Knowing's half the battle. It's like that's why you need to pay attention in that.
That's why you got to pat down your kids before they go to school, parents. Pat them down. Make sure they ain't got no cash money on them. No cheddar.
There's our teachable moment for the day. But you almost start being sarcastic. But anyway, so go back to the jeans. I've joked, right, that I would love to show. You know what a Canadian tuxedo is?
The all denim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to show with like blue jeans and blue jean shoes, jacket, shorts, a little tie, just to kind of like make fun of the system. Our superintendent apparently sent out an email at the end of last school year, and I say apparently because I did not read it, because I don't read any of those emails.
That's good. It's always a good way to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's got nothing important that I need to know about. But he was dissing the dress code, saying it's not professional enough, we're gonna crack down on it. And I'm thinking, we're short on teachers, right? Morale is terrible. People are complaining about pay. We're short on custodians, maintenance staff, and you're gonna focus on people wearing jeans at work? Really? I feel like there's bigger issues you could go after than that.
Yeah.
Dude, you look stupid.
If we ever make it big and we get our star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame,
That'd be really cool.
I want your notes for these shows to go into the Hall of Fame.
It's about as many notes that I take for this show as I took in college for all my classes.
So we went bowling, and I typed in Calvin Klein as my name. So there's some like high score of Calvin Klein on the wall in this little island of Diego Garcia. At least there was. Who knows what they did now? They could have.
I'm like, are you that good in bowling that you think that you're done?
I got over
like
200, man.
You're that guy. You're the dude.
For there, I was a good sport.
Well, I went bowling with my family a couple months ago, and like I didn't break 100, so that's better than me for sure.
All right, then let's turn it over real quick to our teachable moments with Choey and Jandler. Not bomb. Just
ding.
All right, so this edition or this episode of Teachable Moments, grammar is important.
It is.
Grammar is very important. Like understanding where to put punctuation, commas. Understand how to spell words that are the same. Like, you ever heard the example of they'll use the sentence, good grammar, bad grammar. Like good grammar, let's have grandma over, comma, for dinner. Or as opposed to the bad choice, let's have grandma over for dinner, which makes it sound like we're gonna do what?
Eat grandma.
Yeah. I always think about, so I play a lot of FIFA online, right? And there was and you can name, like people put names on their shirts, right? The back of their jersey.
Yeah.
And this guy put on the back of his jersey, "You're trash." And I think what he meant to write is YOU''RE, trash. Like you are trash.
Yeah.
Talking about us, right? Instead, he put YOU're trash, which literally translates to "You're my trash. I own you."
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you're going around pointing at your back of your shirt, thinking like you're so awesome. And I'm like, you're putting yourself down. And while I laughed, because I remember telling the people I was playing with in the party online,
Yeah.
I was like, that idiot thinks he probably thinks he's hilarious. He doesn't realize he's stupid as can be, because he's making fun of himself and he didn't even know it.
And it's sad because like most of the times when that stuff happens, they just go on thinking they did a great joke, and you're like, not even close there, guy.
It's like, no, you made a mistake. I know what your intention was, but that's why you need to pay attention to the school.
That kind of goes back to the last episode where I talked about like I have to then stop to try and figure out what are you trying to tell me in your message, because I've got to translate what you say, literally what's on the paper or screen, versus what you probably meant.
Right, exactly. Which is just way more work than it needs to be, right?
Well, yeah, because then it's like once you open for translation or interpretation, then all of a sudden that's when messages get convoluted.
All right, so there's some what's new, what's trending. Actually, it's kind of an old what's trending for me. I never told you this. I have 2 pencil sharpeners in my class, right? They're both electric, but one is more expensive than the other, right? It's a little bit better. I put it on my desk. They're not allowed to touch it because I don't want them breaking it. Another one that's a little bit less, like about $30 or whatever, which isn't cheap, but it's not like super expensive.
Yeah.
And that's the one we use for like pencil, coloring pencils. Because if you put coloring pencils, can kind of like heat up and gum up like the pencil sharpeners.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it kind of like melts. The wax can kind of melt when they're doing electric. The heat and all that science stuff, right?
Too far, like that's like 5th grade science. When you're 2nd and 2nd grade.
These kids, 4 days into school year, right? 4 days, broke. Not my big pencil sharpener because that's at my desk, but the other one, right? Any idea how they did it? You want to take a guess?
Oh,
well, that's thinking time, by the way, for Choey.
Wait time right there. I would think probably putting the back end in there.
That's a good guess. They sharpened a crayon. Who sharpens a crayon?
One of the kids in your class.
So this is almost another teachable moment. I had to tell them, look, because when you get a box of new crayons, there's a little point to it, right? Like a little cone on the end.
Yeah.
3D shape wise, a little math knowledge. the tip broke off. They didn't understand. You peel the paper down so you have new crayon. They're like, oh, I just stick it in the pencil sharpener. No, that's not what you do. You've seen Big Daddy, right?
Yeah.
I don't want you to be like Big Daddy. You know, he puts down newspapers everywhere.
Oh, yeah. That's for accidents on the floor.
Yeah, I don't want them to be like that. Oh, there's glue on the floor. Let me just get a paper. Let me just get a paper towel and just throw it over there. Yeah, that's gonna stick to the floor now. No, we gotta wipe stuff off. And we'll let the audience in on the fact that once again, me switching back and forth between apps, caused us to redo it. But clearly, you seem too upset about it to continue.
I mean, it is what it is, man.
You're like so brokenhearted.
I'll drown my sorrows in a little can of.
You're like, I guess I can keep going. I'm not gonna know what these kids are saying. And I had the
Mr.
whole
Bing says what?
And I had a like I said, the ear problem. It bothered me for like weeks. Where it didn't hurt because I had medication, but just it wasn't clear sound. And I had this one kid who would always want to tell me stories, and I didn't let the kids know I had an ear infection. But he always wanted to tell me stories, and I'd tell him to repeat it like once, and then he'd tell me, and I wouldn't hear it, and I'd be like, I just start nodding. Oh. All right, man, go sit down.
Today's your day, buddy. If you want to talk to me, talk away.
I was like, go sit down.
I'm gonna be listening, but I'm gonna do some work on my computer too.
You're like, principal, where's my wedgie?
I'm like, I would like to pull the underwear out of my butt crack as well. No one has lodged it up there forcibly yet.
You start doing it to yourself.
Go into the restroom, come out. Oh, they got me too. I'm one of the crowd now.
I put like 2 words. Like if I put episode 8, right?
Yeah.
Normally, like I'm right now, episode 8 means something to me. Tomorrow I'll be like, what is that?
Yeah.
I was like, what the?
It's kind of the way I am too. I'm like, I'll take my laptop, or I'll take my little iPad with a little keyboard on it, and I'll write everything down. And I'm just like, I don't want to write anymore. I'm tired and I'm bored and I'm disengaging because I'm having to type what you're telling me. And I don't care.
Disengaging. You've lost me here.
I'm not like all day workshops just are horrible for me because like after about 5 minutes I'm all. I understand like the idea behind it, but you think about it too, like that's got to be somewhat traumatic for like a 4-year-old or even a 3-year-old.
Go sleep in a strange place.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Hey there, buddy. You've been dealing with this the whole day, right? You're just crying your eyes out for the first 2 hours of your year. Then we had a snack, right? Now I want you to go to sleep in a stranger's room. Nightmare. Anybody?
Give him warm milk, don't you?
How awesome would it be to have a fire drill right in the middle of nap time?
Well, when you say awesome, we mean like you mean like funny, or you talking about like the chaos that will happen?
Like freak out, like traumatic for them.
I don't think it'd be funny for the PK teacher. Like more traumatic.
They're like, oh, go to bed. They freak out.
They'll never be able to. They'll do naps again.
Somebody pees their pants. Yeah, like and it was because I failed whatever like the tax test or the TOS test was. I didn't perform well enough to where like the school thought I should have been like
me fail reading.
Yeah, pretty much me fail reading. I thought was impossible. You're being a total d-bag right now. Like
I'm looking at your face. I wish people could see your facial expression.
It's just like one of those like.
I liked it. People are like, "Oh, it's supposed to snow today. We're still gonna have school tomorrow. It's supposed to snow like 1/2 inch." And it's like, what do you mean? Of course, we're still gonna have school.
Like nobody's like, it's so hot outside. It's so hot. It's 110. Are we gonna have school today? It's too hot to have school. We shouldn't even have to. We have to go outside to go to the building.
You know what? And this is kind of like a side thing. What always gets me is like when it's cold or chilly, these kids show up with t-shirts, right? I'm like, Are you serious? And then it'll be 110 degrees out, and they're wearing a hoodie, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys got it totally backwards, backwards, right?
And I don't know.
Well, I was telling you, we have an attendance incentive because we have to worry about these kids if they're going to come to school on January 3rd. So if they come to school on January 3rd, I guess they're eligible to go see like this magician. Now, I don't know if the magician's going to be there January 3rd.
Magic trick. Just kidding. We tricked you. And again, here it is me now noticing like I'm the more serious one with some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But
admin
research has shown this. Research has shown that getting tanked out of your mind drinking 20 beers a day
is healthy.
Is good for you. Like,
Last year, I forget what I was mad at. We were lined up for recess. They weren't lining up, is what it was. I couldn't get them in a line. And this kid was like, "Hey, I found this pencil on the ground." I took it, and I was like, "I don't care right now." I just tossed it away. It's like, "Get in line. I don't care about this pencil." Oh.
No, like take it and snap it over your knee like it's some dramatic thing. No, the whole problem, like the problem, maybe they don't make more sense. Is these pencils all come from the little cup on my desk? So there are no kids that are taking pencil out of it. It's just
No,
like,
I got your part.
I'm like, how in the world does that
So
never
who uses your pencils?
I don't know. Like
elves,
I,
magical elves at
like,
night.
Yeah, but I mean, so if somebody's pissed off, like, and like sometimes like the twig, that could be the twig that breaks the camel. What is it? Straw.
Straw.
I bet you a twig would do the job too, breaking a camel's back. But
You
for
never
instance,
know.
straw. But whatever thing is going to break somebody's back, like I'll try to help them out. So hey, I need to make this coffee. Sure, like I'll pop it in and get it going. I didn't realize that when you
I'm out.
I can't wait 30 seconds. But so I scanned something into my email afterwards, and it stopped what it was doing to send the scan. And so I was like, "Crap, I broke it."
Yeah.
But then no, it just kept going. It was like the cover was all.
I got to do one more thing.
I was like,
all right. All right, so let's move on over to teachable moments with Jandler Bing. All right, so this teachable moment is really about not picking your nose. I gotta hope that you have high school kids they've kind of moved past that fad.
I mean, I've not seen anybody.
Okay.
I can't guarantee you though.
A couple of years ago, I had this kid. He hit another kid, right? So I messaged mom, "Hey, your son hit somebody else." So I had to write this folder, right? She responds to me. She's like, "Yeah, he did it." I talked to him, and he said he did it because they were making fun of him for picking his nose. I wanted to be like, that's the social cue to not pick your nose. People are gonna make fun of you for doing it. But I got kids that are like just digging like half their finger up there, and I'm like, "Oh, go wash your hand." There's one kid like,
he's like, "Read this one to me." You're like, after you go wash that off.
Like he had like a big snot bubble, like a lot, and I'm like, "Dude, go blow your nose. Go blow him." I see another kid like just sneeze on his hand. I'm just like, "Go." Oh,
you're getting a new worksheet there, buddy.
I'm all OCD about it. Come on, man. Go clean yourself up. So I gotta hope again that high school kids have at least moved out of that.
I haven't seen it. Now I'm gonna like one of those things like when you get pointing something out, then all of a sudden you notice it. Like when you see a certain car you like, and all of a sudden you start noticing them everywhere. Now I'm gonna watch out for like.
You're gonna go back, and kids are gonna pick it, and then they're gonna stick it in their mouths. And you're like,
I'm gonna watch it lunchtime. And be like, who's picking their nose now? I got my eyes on you, children. Digging for gold.
You gotta watch them during lunch. That's your job?
Yeah, because we got nobody else to be like on lunch duty. So it's me, the assistant principal, and usually an SRO.
The whole entire lunch.
Yeah, I mean it's not horrible. They're great kids, so they don't do anything. But it's just one of those like.
Well, I mean, what was your whole lunch? Is it 2 lunch breaks, 3 lunch breaks?
I made it 2 lunches so that way they could be more manageable because the
an hour and a half almost.
No, I mean it's
hour 20.
It hits. So I do with a 45-minute period, and so one group goes to the lunch first, then does their class, and the other one does the class and then lunch. So
it's an hour and a half. Total
between the two, it was like an hour 15.
I'm talking about so lunchtime. It's lunchtime an hour and a half for kids.
No, kids are two 30-minute sessions. So you got
they only got 2 30-minutes.
Yeah. So you got group A goes 30-minute lunch, then 45-minute class. Group B has 45-minute class,
and a 30-minute lunch,
and then 30-minute lunch. And the way they overlap, so you have like a 15-minute break in between.
That makes sense. All right, so that's it for teachable moments. Have you ever tried troubleshooting technology stuff with 7-year-old and 8-year-old kids? It is, it's a nightmare. And I would get all these like, Mr. It doesn't work. And I'd be like, what do you mean it? It's like, what do you mean it?
They don't grow out of that though. Where did that come from?
You know the staple gun?
The one you shot me in the face with when we were driving that one time?
Hey, I was proving a point.
For those of you out there listener land right now, if the staple gun is loaded and you pull out the clip, there still is just like a normal gun, there's still a bullet in the chamber. 3rd grade. I don't remember if her last name was Zemeki or Zim. I don't remember how to say her name. I know she was an old lady. there was a third grade teacher, and she ended up being my fifth grade teacher too. And I found out in her class as a third grader that regular staplers could still staple even when they're like opened up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, you have to have something hard in order to staple. You can't just do it like that.
You didn't take
You know, like when
out?
you like put it like you staple stuff on the wall and you like, take the base off. So I was like, look, it doesn't work like that. And I put it on my fingers and I stapled my fingers together. That was really painful.
That sounds like a teachable moment there.
It was.
What else sounds like a teachable moment? Not shooting staples at people's faces. So now, teachable moments with Jandler Bean. All right.
I got it.
You got
I was like,
high five. Wait. Prost.
Germans.
All right. So this edition of Teachable Moments is more for teachers this time. It's about the word choices. The word choices you use when you're teaching grammar and phonics. I was about to say grammatics. Grammatics, and they're like
it's like Ebonics from back in the day mixed with like proper English. Grammatics.
But I was like, every time I'm doing grammar, I look at some certain words and I'd be like, I was like, we sound it out, you know, we do our I'm not gonna get into it, but we blend our words or whatever, right? But there's certain words that I'll look at it and my first thought is like, the worst thing that could happen, like, please don't say that. Please don't say. Like when we did the word ship, I'm like, I hope they don't say, because I was just like, there's a P there. But you never know. You never know with these kids. I still think, to me, the worst word may be the word duck. Because I think, in my mind, you can screw that up two different ways. You can either say, or, you know, one year is like fudge, but it's not PG.
Or mother trucker.
Yeah.
Or your friend Richard.
And then you have the other guy, who's Richard, or it's the male genitalia. And I'm like, there's a U there. There's a D there. So you never know with these kids. And then I remember sitting here, there was two words. One I texted you, and the word was castle. We were trying to sound it out. And I was like, hey kid, how do you say this word? Well, hey little Johnny, how do you say this word? And he's like, hole. And I was like, there's a C there. It's like, you gotta sound out the C. Let's try it again. He's like, hole. And I was like, no man, I think you're doing this on purpose. I swear, I think that's what I told him. Well, at least I told my brain that. I was like, dude, you can't keep messing this up. And then we looked at a map and was reading a key, you know, a legend about where all the national forests are in national parks are in the United States. And they had the Grand Canyon was in Arizona. And I was having to work on one-on-one with this student. And I was like, hey, what state is this? And he's like, Hola. And I was like, it's Arizona. I don't even know how you get that there.
Yo, what's wrong with your teacher from last year? You can't figure that out. Dude, but okay, so...
Wait. So that's the end of Teachable Moments. You know how we do? We just recycle, right?
Yeah.
Just moving on, right? Anything you want to add before break time?
I think we're good.
All right, let's go ahead and take our break.
All right, so welcome back to episode 11 of Choey and Jandler's The Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Jandler.
Welcome, Choey. Go ahead, start.
It's all good, though, man. My bad for deaf people, even though you probably aren't listening to my podcast.
But you never know. Let's go ahead and move on to Teachable Moments with Jandler Bing. So this is back to the kids. The Teachable Moments for kids. This is more for me. I don't know how you feel about. And I remember doing it when I was a kid. But boys and girls at home, don't lean back in your chair, especially in my classroom. I tell my kids all the time this story. Right, when I used to sub in Illinois, I was in a third grade classroom. And this boy kept leaning back in his chair, and I kept telling him all day, hey man, 4 legs on the floor. Stop leaning back, right? He just didn't listen, and end of the day, he leaned back too much, and he fell down, right? And I busted out laughing. It's like I just busted out laughing. And I was like, I told you so.
I make jokes with the kids too, like when they're doing something silly. I'm like, hey, don't do that, because you're going to get hurt. I'm going to laugh at you first, and then I'm going to have to get you fixed.
So long story. Just hey, unless you want to get laughed at by the teacher, maybe you should just listen to him.
So
Or her.
I was at I think we've kind of established through like bits and pieces we're from the San Antonio region. I was at UTSA in a class and they had like those, I mean the desk, it's got the plastic chair molded to like the thing, right?
Oh, like in the old days?
Yeah.
Yeah, like in high school?
And so I needed to pop my back, so I grabbed a hold of the back legs behind me, like where the basket sits, and I'm pulling back on the chair. And it was it was like the bucket chair, like where it's like a solid piece of plastic, not the one that's got like the hole in the back. And so I'm popping my back, and I pop my back, and then the chair cracks in half, but not like all in one swift motion where it's just done. Like you hear like so enormous like. And after where like, and I was in this one like an upper level class, so it's only like 30 people in the room, and the professor and me. And so it's like, and then up to where everybody looks, and I was on the right side of the room, so I just remember like the professor looked up, she looked to the left, and everybody like kind of looks to the right, and it was like 2 steps. It cracked, and everybody looks at me, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I just popped my back, and then it broke in half, so I like, fell on the floor, and then so I was like, sorry, my bad. And then everybody just like a few people laughed. People were like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" With like the snickering like covered their face, and I'm like, "No, I'm fine, my bad." And it was just like one of those. Shouldn't have done that. Should have waited. Should have waited like 30 minutes. My back was not in that much pain.
Did you ever watch Community?
Huh?
It's a good show too. But back in the day, it's on Netflix, I think.
Community?
Yeah.
Look at it.
So they go to community college, and college is just really crazy. So a lot of like weird stuff happens or whatever, right? Yeah. But there was one episode where one of the classes, the teacher is like, hey, stand up on the chair. He's talking about like, hey, everyone needs to seize the day, right? Stand up on the chair. He's like, all your life you've been told never to stand on the chair. Why do they do that? And as soon as he said that, one of the chairs breaks and the girl falls down. He's like, take it to the nurse. Let's just get that down. That's where you're going with that. So anyway, again, to come back full circle, it sounds like for our teachable moments, it's like, hey, don't lean back in the chair unless you want to get laughed at. Yeah, you know? It's like if it happens, I'm just saying, if you fall down, you can't be mad when someone giggles at you. They're gonna do it.
I laughed about myself too. I could feel I was red in the face, a little bit embarrassed, but it was funny. Like definitely afterwards. I was glad I didn't have to pay for the chair.
Really? It's on your bill, your college bill. All right.
Well, what's this $200 charge? Desk.
All right, so.
But like the face on these ladies' prices, I still remember. It was just like as if I pulled the magic rabbit out of my butt. Like I was all ta-da! Like, I'm done. Like there's no more schooling I can get unless I go something else.
Yeah, unless you want like another degree.
Yeah, so I'm like.
Then you can go to school for fun. Take like dance classes and pottery and all that stuff, right?
It's gonna be fun. Dancing and do some other sort of pottery.
That's really gonna make people think about this show.
Like, just grow up and be mature, and I was like, I am. Like, this
edition of Teachable Moments. Oh, sorry, Teachable Moments with Jandler Bing. It'd really be awesome. When parents send kids to school with snacks, I'm saving snacks for them, because when they don't have snacks, I mean, I'm like,
yeah.
I got a parent who said he'll donate.
Sucks to be you.
I got a parent. He said he'll donate, like he goes to Sam's.
Yeah.
But I told him, I feel bad though asking you to buy snacks though. Of course, if he doesn't do it, then a lot of times I end up having to do it. So.
Yeah.
But and the parents will send. So please send your kids to school with snacks, especially if they're elementary. You guys do snack time?
Not at high school, no.
Okay. And B, it'd be nice to have snacks that these kids can actually open. That I don't have to sit there and open like you know those applesauce things they have to twist.
Yeah.
That like sometimes doesn't open right and have to get scissors, or they get that like Kool-Aid thing that has to, anything that like has some kind of weird twist to it. I'm like, it's not that I don't mind helping, but I got 22 kids. If I have to help one, a lot of times I have to help all those other kids. And I'm like, oh.
So that leads me to like when I was an administrator at an elementary campus, lunch duty on days when they had the baked potatoes. Oh, those were always the longest days because I would have to open. I mean, I'm always opening milks.
Yeah.
But baked potatoes, you'd have to push it a certain way, show the kids how to push it, because they would make the baked potato and then slice it for the kids. So like all they had to do was push the ends, so where the ends would open, and the kids could put their toppings on the inside. But a lot of these kids were like, it's too hot, I can't do it. So there I am, like on average on a baked potato day, like 200 something baked potatoes where I'm squishing the ends and opening milks and popping open the utensils.
So I do a lot of ketchup and mustard and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't open easily and I have to go try and find scissors or something.
Yeah, it's just
Milk,
like,
actually, I
geez.
open a lot of milk, especially for kindergarten and stuff.
You would think like with me being older, I'd be able to do it. There's always one or two.
Wasn't
kids
there
that
one of
obviously
those
have the boxes.
infomercials that had like the thing for the milks?
I think that was like a joke.
Yeah, it wasn't a real infomercial.
Like jammed it in and you could drink it like that, like a juicer.
I feel like we need that for these kids.
Someone-
Don't open it, just.
Because I'd sit there and try and get it, like, darn it, let me do the other side. Darn it. And all of a sudden I'm opening it, I'm like, here, just fold the end on this side. You're fine. Just be careful, don't pour it all the way, otherwise it'll...
I feel bad, like if it didn't open normally, like if I have to put more into it and I have to stick a finger in it a little bit. So I'm like, use your straw. Use your straw.
I was scratching some pods, so you don't really get there when you're helping me on.
All right, so that's my teachable moments. People need.
Oh, so yeah, first off, like how everybody and their mom is the #1 bestseller.
It must not take a lot to be a bestseller.
That's what I feel like. It's like a New York Times bestseller, Oprah's List bestseller.
It's
I'm
like you need to sell 1,000 books. Who knows?
I'm like, are you a bestseller like of the day, and then you just get to take that title home? Like
Yeah.
You were Tuesday, November 14th. If November 14th ever was a Tuesday, I'm sure it was at some point. Like,
Someone's looking it up now.
not that we've grown up, 100%.
We have now ish.
I don't know. Like I get obsessed with voices sometimes. Like I just have to sit there. I don't know. Like I've done announcements sometimes, like little Arnold, like get to the chopper voice. Like I'm like, well, everybody, we're gonna be a safety drill. We're gonna get down. And I enjoy doing stuff like that. Sometimes it's just kind of silly. You do know that there's a saying, don't cry over spilt milk. There's no use. So I feel like it's just.
You say I should not get disappointed that they don't know how to get a damn paper rag.
I mean, you're crying over spilt milk. I feel like
I don't want
this is a Dr. Tribbiani moment.
What I don't want them doing is.
I feel like I'm your therapist now.
You
That was definitely like more with Batman. Like that was Michael Keaton Batman.
you seen Big Daddy, right?
I'm your therapist.
All right, I'm gonna end this with a serious issue. Okay? Could you
I
see
the air
me?
quotes, by the way, so I'm feeling like that. I feel like
I'm sorry.
I feel like there's some leaping coming.
You should like aim low, so if you don't get there, you're not disappointed.
Set the bar low, so nobody ever really cares. Inspirational posters.
I'm about to sneeze. I need a sneeze button. I feel it coming.
Achoo, son of a. I'm sure they're like, let's pause this podcast for a second. A quick moment.
All right, so that wraps it up for part 2 of Choey and Jandler's The Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour clip show. I had a great time putting it together. Hope you had a good time listening to it. We will definitely be back in the future. I have more clip shows and episodes to share. A little more ideas in mind. Plus, Choey will be back here shortly, and we'll be doing more stuff to the end of our school season / podcast season before it's quote-unquote summertime or summer school. Remind you, if you want to follow us on social media, especially Instagram, we are at Choey. We are Choey in Jan, CHOEY, the letter N and JAN. You can also find us on Facebook or tweet us at Choey in Jan, CHOEY, the letter N JAN. All right, until the next time, peace, everybody.